Hello again, I am Blunty. Now, quite recently I did a video covering the subject of video lighting, one of the core factors in getting good looking video, even for simple stuff like YouTube vlogs, and I reviewed this product, which is the Rotolight. In fact, I reviewed the Rotolight interview kit, which consists of two of these, so you can do proper lighting and more even lighting and all that sort of stuff. Go watch the video to get more information about that. But when I was recently at the digital show, which is a big expo thing for photography and videography industry, and to show off, you know, all the fancy new cameras, all the bits and pieces of equipment, the tripods, blah 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 blah, and I ran into the Rotolight guys there who were showing off their newest piece of lighting kit, and it is called the Rotolight ANOVA. Now, it is really fancy, and it costs a few $1,000, and it's designed to be a big studio light. So even if you're like me and you do videos on a regular basis, it may be sort of way over the top of what you actually need, but it has some very cool tricks that will hopefully sort of trickle down into the more affordable realm sooner rather than later. Either way, it's an interesting bit of technology if you're into this videography and lighting and stuff kit, and it has some very clever tricks to do with an iPhone as well. So, you know, even if you're not going to spend $3,000 on a studio light, you might be wanting to check out this video anyway, because it is really cool gear.
Okay, so this is the Rotolight ANOVA. It's a 1,000 watt LED studio floodlight, but it only uses 38 watts of power, so it's 93% more efficient than a typical hot light. Great thing with it is I can touch the front, there's absolutely no heat from it whatsoever. And unlike other studio lights, which are typically about 55-degree angle of light, these are 110, so it will cover 4 times the area of a square LED panel. But the beautiful thing is, by being 110 degrees, the light is very soft, and by being circular, if I stand in front of it, you actually get that really nice ring light effect, even though it's a studio floodlight. Now, the other nice thing about it is it's fully adjustable, so we can go all the way to 0, all the way up to 100, and I can do that in 1% steps, so I can click and hold and do 10s. It's also a bi-color LED system. Now, unlike other LEDs that can change color temperature, some have a dial where you have no idea what color temperature you're operating at. With this, I can click in, specify my color temperature, and adjust it to a 10-degree Kelvin accuracy, all the way down to 3150 tungsten, all the way up to 6300 Kelvin, so you can use it outdoors as a fill in direct daylight. But the really cool thing is, in addition to the fact you can change the color temperature, that it's lightweight, really soft light, it's also the first studio light in the world that's natively iPhone controllable. So it has a built-in Wi-Fi network. This doesn't require a router, it doesn't require 3G. You could use it with your iPhone in the middle of the desert or iPad and control an unlimited number of devices from one phone. So if I show you how simply it works, we have a pin system on the lights. You can set up a protection so no one can mess about with the lights when you're on stage. Well, let's say you've got multiple studios, you have 10 lights in Studio A and 20 in Studio B. You can have them on totally different networks. So all you do is you go into the menu system, go into control, and say I want to control this not locally, not via DMX, but via Wi-Fi. And in my iPhone, it's going to give me a shot of all of the available lights. It's going to give me a live readout of the current Kelvin color temperature, accurate to 1 degree Kelvin. And what I can do with this light, for example, is go through the range, and you can see as I'm doing it, the light adjusts the power automatically, and similarly with the color temperature all the way through that range down through tungsten. 0 latency. Now, a couple of the really nice cool features about this, let's say you're working in a studio when you want to fade the lights to black. Right now you've got to get a guy to ride the DMX faders or your operator on the light. So we invented the fade designer. So you can say I want to fade my studio from, you pick a point, you say I want to fade it from say 70% or 100% down to 10% over 4 seconds. I hit apply fade, and it's going to fade my light down through the preset light level over the time, electronically. And I can apply the same thing to the whole studio, to one light selectively or to a selected group of lights. A couple of other really cool features. We teamed up with Apple, and on a non-disclosure basis, we had access to the Apple iPhone's auto white balance gain and RGB gain. With that information, we're able to turn the iPhone into a colorimeter to actually measure the ambient color temperature of light and intensity and lux, send it to the light, and have the light replicate it. So you can have one crew who are on location shooting a movie in New York, texting the studio in Melbourne, and with one click, the studio becomes the same color temperature as the location. So you get that consistency if you're doing green screen shoots. Similarly, if you're a photographer and you have a preferred way of working with a particular model or client, can save the studio settings for say 20 lights, and rather than having to spend 2 hours re-rigging when you come back in 2 weeks, you upload that client's settings, and with one click the studio goes back to how it was. Now the entire light with barn doors, with the V-plate, DMX and Wi-Fi lists for around 3,200 Australian dollars. It's less than 3 kilograms in weight, already being used by MTV Discovery Channel, BBC, and also used by some of the biggest stills photographers in the world, so people like Philip Nash, who's the current beauty and glamour photographer of the year. So great for stills, great for video. This is the Rotolight ANOVA.
So there you go. What did I tell you? Some very, very cool, nifty little trickery and gizmodery. Is that a word? Gizmodery? It is now. I just coined it gizmodery, having to do with gizmos and technology and fancy things. Very, very clever stuff, and I hope that sort of studio, sort of being able to control it with the iPhone and match lighting levels and all that sort of just amazingly cool stuff. I hope that sort of trickles down to into a more affordable consumer level product sometime soon, or even prosumer. But yeah, either way, the message is clear. If you want your videos to look as good as they possibly can, you gotta pay attention to the lighting. Thanks for watching. I am Lonty, and I will catch you next time. Wait, I'll do a ghost story. Once in the deep dark woods, there was a video camera without a light, and everything looked awful. Skid 'em up! Scat man! I'm just bored. Oh, I've lost focus. Game's over.